Let's get you out of bed. There could be a snake in your pillow. I just watched video of a snake catcher pulling a snake out of somebody's pillow. Now, of course, this was in Australia. All right. So it's not often that around here we hear of snakes being found in people's beds. But there are snakes around here. Okay, so I just want to let you know there could be a snake in your pillow. That is just horrifying. You know, last night as I was tossing and turning, trying to get to sleep, you know how thoughts just kind of rocket through your head? For some reason, at one point, I remember thinking, what if a spider all of a sudden just ran across my face? Like, why think that as you're trying to get to sleep? Now, I'm going to be thinking about, oh, there might be a snake in my pillowcase. Great. I mean, I've got cats around. Hopefully they would sense that kind of life, try to keep me safe, attack the snake. But cats don't really like snakes. You know, if you put a cucumber behind a cat, out of their peripheral vision, they think it's a snake, freaks them out. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't do that. It's not very nice. I've never tried that prank on my cats because I don't like to bully them. But, yeah, I don't know if I could rely on my cats to protect me from a snake that's in my pillowcase. I got no idea. Anyway, glad that story was in Australia. And if you're just getting up and you're in bed, just think about it. Your pillowcase is slithering. Yeah. It's just kind of moving around. Ah, grody. All right, I don't know how people keep getting scammed by fake online celebrities, scammed into giving them tons of money. These stories pop up like weekly, yet people still keep getting duped. There's a show on Netflix called Virgin River, and apparently one woman who was a fan of this show lost $375,000 over 2 years after being tricked into believing she was in a relationship with actor Martin Henderson, who plays Jack Sheridan on the Netflix series. So, she's a woman from New Zealand named Leah, and I guess she took out loans to cover all kinds of insane costs like private jet, fake flights, Bitcoin transfers, and gift cards. She wasn't even a New Zealand resident. She moved from the U.S. to New Zealand, convinced she was starting a new life with the actor. It's ultimately a sad story. You know, there's a lot of lonely people out there, and, you know, loneliness is not great, all right? You know, when you get a little bit desperate and you're just by yourself, I guess hope, you know, can take you a long ways. $375,000. Holy cow. So it started off by her receiving a message from her Facebook page, or on her Facebook page, from someone claiming to be Martin's agent, saying he liked her comments, wanted to talk to her. They hit it off, and next thing you know, all kinds of chatting going on, planning for their simpler life. Planning to get married and have 3 children, and it was just a scammer. $375,000. Jeez. So please talk to your family members. You got anybody who's lonely in your family? Any of your friends? Just make sure they're not chatting with celebrities online. Could end up being, totally fake. Jeez. Anyway, I'll let you know what celebrity duped somebody out of hundreds of thousands of dollars again next week. But this week it was that guy. Must be a pretty good show. Haven't seen it. All right, you kids might be up bright and early, getting ready for school, trying to plot out your future. Let's talk about professions that are likely to be wiped out in the next decade. Yeah, sometimes you got to change your plan. Yeah? Nothing worse than getting into a dying industry right at the end. Take it from me. No, I think radio will be okay for a bit. At least for those of us who have like 10 million jobs in it. I hope I can make it for a while. Anyway, let's see. According to the internet, the following professions likely to get wiped out in the next 5 to 10 years. This person says, I used to do court transcription. Basically, I download an audio file and type what's spoken in the courtroom verbatim. Now, the industry has been trying to implement speech-to-text software for years, but it's been too crap up until recently. I've since upskilled to an editor where instead of typing manually, I correct the generated transcript. Yeah, voice-to-text has gotten really good. So I could imagine, give it a little bit more time. I mean, you're still going to need somebody to double-check it. Because I can't imagine it being perfect. However, no person is perfect either. How many times you heard me go, what? What'd you say? Huh? Yeah, I can't understand people. Not a job I'm going to be able to get. I use the subtitles. Not because I can't hear. I just can't understand. Everything sound like the Peanuts parents. Wah, 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 wah. All right, what other job should you probably not shoot for here? Okay, automated driving. Now, this person says about 10 years ago, there were similar questions being asked about truck driving. People thought driverless trucking was going to happen soon. They put a bunch of investment money into places working toward the tech, but they're feeling like it's kind of been bailed on. I would imagine that driverless trucking is going to become a much bigger thing. I would think. Though I don't know. I mean, with any of these, I don't know. So if you're thinking of getting into truck driving, again, this is all just garbage information I found online. Don't just take it at face value. Like, Viktor Wilt says I shouldn't get into trucking. I didn't say that. Somebody online brought up the fact that automated trucking, it's something that's being discussed. I've seen the pictures of, AI-controlled 18-wheelers. Let's see here. I work as a master control operator, basically one of the people that monitors and edits the playlists that send TV programming to air. All right, this is in my kind of realm here. Monitor for graphics, closed captioning, audio, video, and also serve as emergency recovery if the video or audio goes haywire. So this is very similar to radio operation. They also roll the commercial breaks for any live programming. They got somebody manually running commercial breaks. I mean, we've got an automated system here. If I decide, I've had it, I can't take it anymore, I'm out of here, and I just walk out the door, the station will continue operating. You won't hear my yapping. Might be the best day ever for some of you. But I would assume TV's got to be automated the same way. They don't have somebody sitting there manually running commercial breaks 24/7, right? So this guy should actually be probably happy he's still got a job. Says, recently started using a new on-air system that has some strange kinks in it when it comes to live programming. Doesn't seem to be designed for rapid, in-the-moment adjustments. Yeah. I could imagine that as well. When they asked the engineers about it, they said they designed the program with stations that do not have a live operator in mind. TV behind radio on this one. I'm very kind of surprised by this. So, anyway, yeah. We used to have board operators. Like if we did a live broadcast, this is actually how I got my start in radio, was being a board operator. You know, Howie Rock would be out broadcasting live somewhere, and I would come in here and, control everything that he had going on out, in the community. Now, we can just do it with our cell phone. We don't need a board operator back in the room. We can control every aspect of it. So that position, board operator, done. My start in radio, I probably wouldn't have been able to do it because the job does not exist. Radio is a very fun job. But I don't know what you got to do to get into the biz now. You probably need to start a podcast or something, get your skills up really good. And then just apply for those positions that all the other people in radio have been fed up with and pushed out of the biz, and you might have a shot. I don't know. Again, I hope the biz lasts long enough for me to make it to the end. All right. Well, we might look at more jobs that may be going away here in a few. I want to help you make good life decisions if I can. All right, let's see what's going on at eastidahonews.com. Yeah, I've been pondering what I'm going to do after work today because I don't want to do much of anything. Monday, the perfect day to order out some food. Looks like East Idaho News posted about a newer restaurant in Idaho Falls last week. AJ's Place. If you haven't been in here before, it's been a few different businesses over the years, but AJ's has been open for a while now. Opened back in April. 1560 Lindsay Boulevard in Idaho Falls. Looking at the pictures of the food here. I mean, when you got Build a Burger, you're calling in Viktor Wilt. Yeah, they also have, chicken sandwiches and zucchini sticks. They got a bar. They got just about everything, as well as a family-friendly environment. So a great place to bring the kids in for a night of entertainment and dinner. Yeah, they have live bands and stuff. Pretty cool place. AJ's. Now, if you don't want to deal with cooking today, which, yeah, I think I'm going to do as little as possible, maybe I'll swing by there, get some food to go. If you want to check out the article, go to features at eastidahonews.com, and you can find the latest article about AJ's Place and take a look at the environment and food for yourself. There you go. Give it a look. Morning and welcome to the Viktor Wilt program today. Happy Monday to you. I hope it's going great. Mine's going all right, other than, the usual on a Monday. Wishing I was sleeping instead. But no, what am I up to? Scrolling Facebook. Why? I don't know. It's not a place to find content. Was kind of funny, though, as I was scrolling, one of my Facebook friends, I won't say who, but, kind of went on a political run last night. Bunch of political posts. And one of them mentioned, you're probably not going to see this because Facebook when it comes to politics. I'm like, have you looked at Facebook in the last few weeks? It's all politics. Yeah, ever since Zuck came out and was like, all right, I guess we're going to start posting news again. Well, I'm not seeing a lot of news aside from politics, but that's my entire feed. Oh, nightmarish. And I almost dove in and was like, all right, I'm going to say something, but I give up. I get up. There is no change in the minds of some people. No matter how far in the face of logic some viewpoints are, we're just not going to be able to change anybody's views anymore. I'm just going to have to put my head in the sand and hope for the best. But yes, if you're worried about your posts being seen on Facebook, post something political. Just make one sentence in your post, something relating to politics, and everybody's going to see it. Because that is clearly the priority topic being pushed by the Facebook algorithm right now. So you social media people out there, if you're wanting to boost your posts up a bit, just throw in, a politician name or, I don't know, a few keywords that you probably see in news headlines all the time. Just, pick one out, throw it in your post somewhere. And yeah, if you need to get the message out about maybe a community fundraiser or something, you just got to throw a little bit of politics in it. All right. Because Facebook is loving it, even if the rest of us are getting sick of it. But that's how it's been for the last year. You always hope that after the election is over, like, okay, now we can move on and we're not going to have to deal with all this, pummeling of political garbage. No, Not in this day and age. People are obsessed. So, anyway. I don't know where I'm going to go to dig up content, but it's certainly not Facebook today. Yeah. And I think I'm going to avoid starting arguments because it doesn't go anywhere. It's a waste of effort. All right. Earlier on the show, I talked about a snake wrangler finding a snake in someone's pillow. Yeah. Very bothersome as you get rolling for the day, but it could be worse. Finding a snake in your pillow might not end up with you being bitten. You generally, I would think, just kind of run away screaming in terror, and it's going to wake you up for the day, hopefully leaving you uninjured, unlike, potentially sitting on the toilet and having it just explode. Now, this didn't happen in someone's home, happened while they were at work. Another reason why you should always just use your home restroom, okay? For some people, it's like clockwork. Show up, park in that bathroom for 30 minutes, while other people are like, come on, hurry up, you're stinking up the place. Why don't you do that at home? Well, maybe if every once in a while a toilet blew up, people might change their tune and only use them in, emergency situations for that kind of thing. So this was in Pittsburgh at a government building. Yeah, this guy, well, we won't get into the grisly details, but toilet blew up while he was sitting on it. And I guess it had something to do with a plumbing fixture failing. What does that mean? What part of the plumbing fixture failed? How do we ensure this doesn't happen to the rest of us? What plumbing parts do we need to look at to ensure that toilets don't explode when we sit down to use them? I think that's the most important information, and they don't have it in the article. Was it a frozen pipe? I don't know. But hey, if you started your morning without having your toilet explode, you should be having a pretty good day. All right, Monday edition. Let's dive in and see what's happening in the world of stupid today. Okay. Super pigs. All right, the headline was why U.S. ranchers and farmers are alarmed about Canada's destructive super pigs. How about because they're super pigs? Wild hogs that have gone beyond just being wild hogs, and now they're super pigs. What makes them so super? I guess they're big, smart, and prolific breeders, and they're just spreading out of control. Okay. They'll eat anything to survive. They tear up land and reproduce quickly, with devastating consequences to ranchers and farmers. All right, well, we don't have to worry about them here yet, right? No, I saw one of these maps about wild pigs a while back. They're coming our way. Mainly a problem down south for now. But wait, these are Canadian super pigs. That means they're super close, right? All right, anyway. Montana has launched a Squeal on Pigs campaign, urging anyone who has seen wild pigs to alert officials. Squeal on pigs. It's pretty funny. I'm going to have to talk to my homie Lieutenant Crane about this campaign on Friday during traffic school powered by the Advocates. Lieutenant Crane, man, we got this program going on here yet, huh? Where we tattle on pigs? Snitches for pigs? All right, anyway. Speaking of wild beasts that maybe we need to be a little bit concerned with, American crocodiles thriving in Florida's nuclear power plant cooling canals. Yeah. Just bring it on. Mutant crocodiles. Sure. Now I'm sure that that's actually something we don't really need to worry about. I would assume these cooling sites are not pumping these crocodiles full of mutating radiation, right? Okay, anyway, what else do we have here? Bronx bodegas selling single eggs because of soaring prices. I don't think that's that weird, right? I've walked into a gas station and seen, a hard-boiled egg for sale, but I would assume these are raw eggs. 3 eggs for $3, which they say is better than paying $12 for 1 carton. No, it's not. It's the same rate. That's what sucks about being poor, Like, what item was I looking at recently? It was medicine. I was at Walgreens, and I was looking at nasal spray, Flonase, all right? Helps out during the dry season, you're dealing with allergies. Now, you could buy 4 bottles of Flonase, the generic brand, it was like $40 or something, and these were for the double-size bottles. Or if you bought 1 of the regular size bottles, it was like $15. Just another way that poor people get screwed over. The people who can afford to buy in bulk save a bunch of dough. Anyway, sorry. The cost of everything has me aggravated. I was at the grocery store over the weekend, and I got all excited for a minute because I saw, I think it was 12 packs of soda. I'm like, oh, whoa. They've come down in price a little bit. But then I kept wandering through the grocery store. Like, okay, 1 item on sale doesn't mean that prices are coming down. Dang it! Yeah, the ice cream bars that I, thankfully can't afford to buy anymore that I really enjoy, those Biscoffs. Yeah, they've gotten to be so stupid priced. I don't even have to worry about the urge anymore. I'm like, yeah, not worth it. Okay, sorry. It's Monday morning. People don't need to be reminded about the price of everything, but I'm just trying to get by here. Trying to figure out what to have for breakfast. Oatmeal it is. That's still sort of cheap, right? How drunk can a Florida man get? Pretty drunk. All right, pretty hammered. This guy in Florida wrecked his car outside of a 7-Eleven, ran into a pole, and then he got out and he just sat on the ground. But he wasn't wearing any pants. Number 1, to leave your home with no pants, unless intentional, I would assume you got to be fairly intoxicated. See if we got a blood alcohol level out of this guy. Does not appear. Oh, there we go. Geez, yeah. 0.260. Significantly over the legal limit. That might explain the lack of pants. Don't drink and drive, people, okay? If you are prone to leaving your home, even with pants, while you're all hammered, you need a babysitter. Or you might need a treatment program, okay? You can end up on a list for walking around with no pants. A list you don't want to be on, okay? Talk about the worst hangover ever. Oh, geez, waking up in jail. You're on the national news, the no pants guy. And in addition to your regular charges, now you're again on the list. I mean, it's Florida, man. Nothing should be surprising when it comes to Florida, man. But yeah, if you got a friend like that, I don't know, chain them down when they're drinking the booze and encourage them to get some help. Morning, my peeps. What's happening? It's the Viktor Wilt Show. It's Monday, sadly. I don't know, you might have the day off. A lot of people got the day off today. However, this guy, nope, I'm here doing it live. So if you need to get a hold of me, 208-535-1015, the number to call. I'm sitting in the seat doing my thing, digging up new tunes for the week. Yeah, lots of new music dropping as of late. Kind of curious to see what's going to happen with the band Nirvana, though. Lots of buzz making the rounds after Post Malone joined them at the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary thing, which aired last night. Why they did it on a Sunday when it's Saturday Night Live, I don't know. But anyway, Post Malone, he a couple years ago did a really cool set of Nirvana songs from his house. I was pretty impressed. Didn't expect much, but I thought he did a great job. I have not yet watched the video of him performing on the Saturday Night Live show from last night. However, Stuart told me it was really good. He called to remind me that this had happened. And now there's quite a bit of speculation, like I said, going around about maybe the band doing some touring. I would imagine that would be a pretty big moneymaker. That sounds like a stadium tour to me. And with all of the potential money on the table and how much artists love to charge for tickets nowadays, I mean, Dave Grohl don't need the dough. He's doing all right. Post Malone don't need the dough. But, hey, you can never have enough money, right? Need more millions. How would it be? Anyway, if we get any more updates on that, I'll let you know. But I can update you on a show that is happening here in East Idaho. We got our first rock show of 2025 announced, and it's going down at the Port of Hell Trust Amphitheater in Pocatello, August 1st. If you're into punk and that whole scene, this is going to be a blast. Dropkick Murphys and Bad Religion with the Mainliners. August 1st at the Port of Hell Trust Amphitheater. What day of the week's that? I'm curious. Oh, Friday night? Friday night at the Port of Hell Trust Amphitheater, August 1st. That's a great lineup. Dropkick Murphys, when they played at the arena, they were a blast. They were a total blast. And Bad Religion, I mean, it's been a long time since I saw them perform. It would have been at like a Warped Tour or something a long time ago. So that's a pretty fun lineup. Pretty stoked. If you want more details, check out the Port of Hell Trust Amphitheater Facebook page. Get the scoop there on tickets and such, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So there we go. Finally, getting a rock show announced here in East Idaho. Hopefully, we start hearing about a bunch more. But I'm pretty stoked. There you go. Not too bad for Monday morning news. Whew. Hope you're a little bit more energized than me today. I don't know, maybe it was all that snow I dealt with over the weekend. I've got the blinds closed here, so I don't know what's going on outside. I did see more snow in the forecast for today. Yuck! Yuck! Not fun. All right, at least it's mid-February, so we only have a few more months of winter to go. All right. Well, what else is going on around here? I was kind of wasting time scrolling through Reddit. You know, the huge. And I saw a thread, people who grew up with wealth, what was your I'm privileged wake-up call? Now, this could potentially be a thread that makes you feel a little bit better about yourself. I think a lot of people don't realize how good they have it. So, let's roll through some of these responses and see if we could perhaps put ourselves in some of these boats here. This user said, when I was a kid, my best friend came to our house for the first time and kept saying, wow, wow. He was really impressed that we had 2 TVs. It embarrassed me enough that I didn't tell him we had 4. Yeah, back in the day. I remember if you had like a 27-inch TV when I was young, holy cow, look at that. Look at that big screen. That's crazy. That's a monster TV. The first time I got a 27-inch TV, I was so pumped. I was pumped beyond belief. What's going on, Peaches?
Trying to get stuff done around here. Walking around trying to get answers.
Walking around trying to get answers. Well, good luck.
I feel like Zach Bagans, like, I want answers.
Why don't you just pick up the phone instead of walking around?
I need my steps in, too. You see how fat I am?
Okay, all right. Getting steps in, that's fair. Well, I was looking at a thread about people who grew up with wealth and what was their I'm privileged wake-up call. One guy, it was that his friend came over and was blown away that he had 2 TVs. You know, I'm trying to make people feel better about themselves.
My dad growing up, I think his dad was the one that he was the first guy to have the microwave in his neighborhood. Because that was a huge thing.
Look at these rich people.
Yeah,
Holy cow. Wow.
Yeah, you can tell I don't know how well off my grandpa was, but they moved from Carson, California to Seal Beach back when those houses were new type of thing.
Stop.
Because my Uncle Sonny got jumped in Carson, and like his whole jaw was broken, everything.
They broke my jaw!
So they're like, let's move to the new neighborhood.
All right.
That's extremely expensive now.
Privilege.
That's right.
That's what's going on there.
Peach's privilege.
Peach's privilege. All right, this person said, at this point, I already knew I was very well off, but after I had gotten laid off for the first time a few years ago, I took a break for about a month before diving into a job search. I was at the self-checkout at the grocery store next to a woman paying with food stamps. I had recently gotten $100,000 from my grandmother's inheritance, and it hit me. I'm unemployed, not even trying to find a job, and I just got a boatload of money because someone else died. And she's the one people would, accuse of being a freeloader. Dude, again, a lot of people have no idea how good they've got it. There have been some discussions recently that I got in online about food stamps, because when I was young, had little kids and stuff, things didn't even cost anywhere near what they do now. Like how families are getting by right now, I don't know. I have no clue, man, after going to the grocery store. But I think that most people who get assistance, they use it for a while to get themselves on their feet and then work themselves up into a better position. So you can actually give your kids some quality food. Because right now, it's cheaper to go buy, in many cases, like just fast food junk.
Oh, definitely.
Than it is to whip up a nice, healthy meal.
After buying all those ingredients for the mac and cheese, it was ridiculous. I'm like, I might as well just go to Taco Bell, get like the Lux Cravings box for $7.
Yeah, totally, dude. Totally. It's rough right now. I mean, everybody talking about eggs, but what about all the other stuff?
The egg stain is so annoying.
I know. There are certainly worse things than eggs. I bought a $10 bottle of ranch dressing. $10. It was the big size.
But you bought it. You got suckered into it.
I know. Well, I wanted to try to get the best value and make it last. $10. And that was at Winco. All right.
That's the cheap place.
Exactly. So I don't know what that bottle of ranch would have cost somewhere else. But holy cow. Can you imagine just all of a sudden being given $100,000, Peaches?
I wish.
Like, dude.
I wish. My grandparents sucked. Thanks, Grandpa.
Yeah. What's up with that? My grandparents, they left me a little something, but I mean, it was a little something. Paid some bills.
I think both my grandparents gave it to their kids. It's like, come on, you selfish. Selfish. Come on.
How dare they? How dare they? Let's see. This person said, when I was confused about people on Maury complaining their spouse was at the club, and I couldn't figure out what type of country club would let people like that through the front security gate.
Wow.
Yes, that's when you realize I'm privileged. Like, I've been to the country club. You can't dress that way and walk in.
This is a weird version of you're a redneck. It's like, for me, it's like, you're fat when you think of the club as the club sandwich, not the actual club where you just dance for no reason.
That reminds me of, they were going to do, I think it was a 10-year high school reunion for my graduating class, and they had booked it at the country club in Pocatello, and I'm like, what is this? The country club? We went to Pocatello High School, all right? That's where the poor kids went. No offense to everyone in Pocatello, but it's just how it was.
I grew up right across the street from Old Ranch Country Club, and then there was also like the old, the Seal Beach Tennis Center and pickleball courts, because they had to change it to and pickleball courts because so many old people were just flocking there to play pickleball. The wait list is like a year in advance now.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I was like, if we're going to do a high school reunion for my school, we hold it in an alley somewhere,
right?
Where everybody used to hang out during lunch, the Union Pacific parking lot.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's where you hold the Pocatello High School reunion, something that's familiar to all the students. I've never even stepped foot in a country club. Look how I dress. What do you do at the country club? Schmooze?
You play golf, I think.
Yeah, but the club part itself, I would assume there's a bar.
You just eat food.
You sit around and, yeah.
My friend Matt and Christian and I, we went to the L.A. Country Club, and we just ate there. That's all we did.
Okay.
I got some expensive club sandwich, and then they got some wings, and then we just left.
Okay. Yeah. I've never walked into one. I've been to, the PGA Championship one time.
Have you been to Erewhon at all? in Southern California.
Is that fancy grocery store?
Yeah, I'm going to go
told
there.
Me about it.
I'm going to go there and interview people in April, I think, and be like, so how much money do you make and why do you shop here? And then see what they have to say. Because I saw people casually shopping, and I'm talking like 4 chicken thighs were like $25.
Jeez.
And the water that we got, the rose water that we tried from that place, $10.
That's ridiculous.
My friend Christian got a $15 smoothie.
So I would imagine people either shop there for the novelty like you guys, or because they don't want to be around the riffraff you get at Walmart.
Right, they're too good for them. They're a part of this thread, you know.
Yeah, they're the ones going. I went into a grocery store one time and saw normal people. I couldn't believe it. Oh my goodness! I just had the biggest brain fart. Jeez. I don't know. I think we were talking about money or something earlier. I don't remember how I was going to transition into this, but we were going to take a look at jobs and careers that are recession and depression proof. You know, it can be hard to figure out what you want to do with your life. And you don't want to end up in an industry that all of a sudden you're no longer needed. Yeah, we were talking about jobs earlier that like AI had taken over and things like that. Well, what business can you get in if you want to ensure you're going to have a job always? Mortician. I don't know. I could see that being automated. I really do. I mean, it'll probably be a while. But what jobs can't be automated? The AI overlords, you know, they're going to take us over eventually. But a lot of people seeming to think that running a funeral home, you're always going to be busy. I mean, you've got a guaranteed customer base, at least for now. Yeah. And honestly, do you think if they figured out a way to make us all, like, live way longer, that it would get out there to the general public? Probably not. You know, we've already got enough problems. Enough people not being able to get by. Imagine you got, people living to like 300 years old. Jeez. All right, let's see. Auto mechanics. Now, I think people are going to drive classic vehicles for a long time. Like me, for example. Can I afford to go buy a car? No. So, I'm going to need a mechanic to fix my truck till the end of days. I believe. I think that's going to be my final vehicle. Based on the pricing of automobiles I have seen in recent years, I'm stuck with the truck I have. So I'm going to need a good mechanic. Keep that thing running till the end of my days. Eventually I could see things getting switched over, though, where, we got machines handling all this stuff. But I think mechanic, or like a plumber, I think a plumber is going to be a pretty solid job for a long time. Because each situation's very different. Getting robots to do this, I just think for general application, it's going to take a while. Now, plumbers, if you talk to them, there's a lot of unpleasantness in that job. So they deserve the money they get. Yeah, that's probably a pretty good bet. You know what job I know is not going to pop up on here? My job. If you've heard me talk about the radio business, they'll fire people, they don't even need a recession. They're just like, hey, let's cut that bottom line a little bit more. We don't need people. Just put music on. It's not like there's other places for people to get music. No, we don't need DJs. Let's see here. I would have said government job. Yeah, you would have. Bad time to be a government employee from what I'm seeing in the news. Hope you're doing okay. Government workers out there. All right, garbage collection, municipal water supply, train engineer, road maintenance, all that hard stuff. Nah, I don't know. We're entering into weird times. What's it going to be in the next decade? Can you imagine what kind of changes we're going to see with automation and things? Okay. Sorry. Earlier I was like, I don't need to scare people on a Monday morning. Talking about people waking up with snakes in their pillows and things like that. I really know how to rock Monday, don't I? Hey, everyone, we got problems. All right, I'll try to find something cheerier for the next break. Cool? Cool. All right, we got Peaches in the house, and he said he had a debate question for me.
Yeah, were you wondering why exactly I asked the question in the K-Bear group? Do you put vegetables, mixed veggies in your mac and cheese?
No.
You didn't see that question?
I did not see that.
I know you've been trying to get off of Facebook in your free time.
Well, no, just Facebook. I talked about this earlier. Now all they push with the algorithm is political stuff. So, yeah, I'm not seeing those kind of posts.
For me, I'm just getting TMZ headlines and people complaining about those. And they could be political, or they could be just about, SNL's 50th anniversary and who showed up.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of SNL 50th anniversary, but other than that, it's all politics. So anyway, I'm not necessarily for or against veggies in my mac and cheese. I've done it, and I like it plain as well.
See,
so I don't know.
If I were to take a big bite of mac and cheese and I taste peas, I'm throwing the whole plate away.
I don't know. I think that you got to get your veggies, Peaches.
I can eat my veggies separately. I like them by themselves.
I don't know. Mac and cheese seems like one of those things you could mix almost anything into. Like, because you...
Man, you are white.
You were just telling me how you were going to take part of a pork roast, chuck it in there with some barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any whiter than that.
That's not white. That
sounds pretty white to me.
Putting peas in mac and cheese, definitely white. That's almost like putting the raisins in the coleslaw or the tuna salad. That's gross.
Yeah, I mean, I could eat that too.
I talked about the extreme white dishes with my friends last night, and we're going like, the sweet potatoes with the marshmallows on top. That's a huge one. Anything ambrosia salad, that right there. Anything casserole, like tuna casserole.
Yeah, mac and cheese is a casserole. When you put stuff in it.
Yeah, don't put stuff in it. Just mac and cheese.
When
you make a nice mac and cheese and you dare ruin it. I mean, I can see with broccoli, that's like cheddar broccoli. But I still wouldn't put that in there. I just eat the broccoli on the side.
Well, and broccoli in mac and cheese wouldn't be as good as just broccoli covered in cheese. Yeah, but it would still be fine. I mean, putting barbecued meat in mac and cheese. That's normal.
That's more so like just a cool combination that you could do. It's
not
normal.
But if it tastes good,
sure.
I would bet peas don't have a lot of flavor. I bet they'd be fine
but
in
I'm more
mac
so
and
saying
cheese.
like carrots, peas, corn, all there's mixed veggies at all in mac and cheese. I feel like you're just a fat person trying to be healthy. It's like getting a Diet Coke with your big burger.
Hey, what are you trying to say? I actually recently took a can of mixed veggies and put it in some of the Cheetos mac and cheese, which the Cheetos mac and cheese I think is the best. The best boxed mac and cheese.
Oh, you go for the box kind. See, I'm now an elitist. After making my own roux with the sauce, I'm like, I'm never going for that canned stuff again.
Yeah, I'm not going to take the time to do that.
Sure, yeah.
Nah, can't. If I need some mac and cheese that's a little fancier, don't they have it in the deli at Winco?
I'm sure they have it in delis in every store. Macaroni salad that you could get in the giant tub.
Yeah.
Get the deviled egg version.
Yeah, why make it yourself? I'm lazy. I ain't got the time for that anymore. I don't even have the time to do chores.
What time do you... What do you mean you have no time? Do you run home and, freak out, or what do you do? I want to know what happens to you in your free time.
Why would I want to spend my whole evening cooking?
You don't spend your whole evening cooking. What are you talking about?
If you're cooking up mac and cheese from scratch, that's at least an hour.
I'm not making the pasta. I'm not doing all that crap.
Yeah, but even so, it's still probably a good hour. It's
not really.
It's too much work.
Oh, it's a good hour. So you're saying that's all night is 1 hour?
Yes.
Well, I got to watch 6 hours of movies and talk to my girlfriend on the phone.
Yeah.
Those are my plans.
That's much
Peaches,
better.
why can't I get in shape? Because I'm sitting down all day watching movies and TV shows.
You aren't going to get in shape eating mac and cheese.
Well, you got to spend some time on the treadmill. You got to do all that fun stuff.
Dude,
you got to cook up some stuff.
I was out and dealt with snow in 3 people's driveways yesterday, Peaches. I get some exercise.
That's what happens when you live in Idaho. That's not exercise. That's just normal.
That is exercise. People die from it. You know how many people have a heart attack snow shoveling because they don't realize how much exercise it is? Lots. They're dropping dead left and right.
That's why you get the snow blower.
Well, I do have one of those too. But even those, you got to wrench them around and stuff. It's a big machine. It doesn't have a tight turning radius. It's not like a rascal scooter. It's like a tank. you gotta twist that thing with brute arm strength.
You might have come up with something there. A rascal scooter snowblower.
It would be great.
Yeah.
A ride-on rascal scooter style snowblower. Be fantastic.
If you have like a giant backyard, like if you live in Rigby and you have a lot of land, you need one of those types of things.
I mean, I know they have ride-on snowblowers, but they're like real big. They tend to be going down the roads, things like that, pumping all that snow into the middle or into a dump truck. Yeah, that'd be nice because those things got power. Yeah, there ain't no getting stuck on some slush with one of those.
But then you could also charge your neighbors to be like, hey, I can get rid of that snow in like 5 minutes.
My neighborhood's pretty good at, like, every once in a while, my neighbor will hit my driveway, and so I'll hit theirs, and kind of take care of each other in the old cul-de-sac.
See, not me. I let the old lady next door do all the work.
I know, Peaches. I know how you roll. Thank you again for tuning in to the Viktor Wilt Show. This program is a production of Riverbend Media Group. To contact the show or for more information, hit us up at riverbendmediagroup.com.